Atheist Nomads, episode 192. What is a Revelation seminar?
The podcast you're about to listen to includes cursing and talking about hoo-haws. Please be advised.
Welcome to another episode of Atheist Nomads. I am Dustin. Joining me as always is Wesley.
Hello, everybody.
And we have somebody who prefers to introduce herself, so...
Hey, it's Lauren! The one with the jiggly bits.
And if you want that to make sense, you need to go back and listen to last
got
week's
jiggly
Sci-Fi
bits.
Nomads.
Yeah. Well, he's always introducing us, and it's like, I can introduce myself.
It's
Snap,
habit.
snap.
It's habit. I've been doing it for 192
you're a good host.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, he's the guy. That's his job.
That's what I fight. Fuck the patriarchy.
Well, as a reminder, we have the live recording of episode 200 coming up on May 20. 200 minutes of live random bullshit.
So much better than
Good
12
God.
hours.
Okay, and it's not going to be random bullshit. We're going to record episode 200, and depending on the quality of the last half, episode 201, maybe?
Mm,
But
Don't you
I
wanna-
could do it.
watch for details.
Well, how have you been, Dustin?
Well, we're going to be doing the ashes scattering on Sunday for my late estranged father. My mom will be in town for her 50th high school reunion, and she suggested that we do that while she's in town. So, yeah, we are going to be crossing state lines with ashes and scattering them on public land.
All right.
Or at a place that was very significant for him. So everyone agrees that it is a fitting and appropriate spot. Lauren, how are you?
I'm good. Signed up for a couple of Reddit gift exchanges. The International Snack Exchange. So I'm going to be sending a kit of s'mores stuff to Australia.
Aw,
Yeah.
I did that for my friend,
Aw,
Katie Hall.
yay! Because
Yeah, Katie,
apparently you can't get marshmallows there. Not like real marshmallows.
Or fucking graham crackers. I don't know what the
I
fuck
said
that
the
is.
cinnamon graham crackers.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the special ones. And a couple different chocolate bars. Because, if you're going to do s'mores, you might as well do Reese's Cup s'mores or Butterfinger s'mores. And then I'm going to write a little note highly suggesting bacon s'mores. And then I also did the Ron Swanson gift exchange for Dustin here. So that'll be fun.
And
Yes.
I'm not familiar with this one.
Oh, that is Parks and Rec is a show
Yes. I know Ron Swanson, but Ron Swanson gift exchange?
where if you're a fan of Ron Swanson, you send each other gifts.
And Ron Swanson, or Nick Offerman, the actor who plays Ron Swanson, is also a very well-known woodworker.
Yes.
He had an awesome piece on how to start woodworking. It was build a doghouse, realize that it's absolute crap, and build another doghouse, then move up to building a cow house, and then a
Did
horse
he call
house.
it a cow house? Oh my
Yes.
God, that's adorable.
And then get married and build a human house, and then have children, and then make them sand.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yes.
There's a person I got paired with specifically asked for a poster that he puts up in the show that has a plate of breakfast foods on a blue tablecloth, and I could find the image, but I decided to go with something else instead. So I hope they'll be pleased. Anyway, I can feel a cough coming on. All right, I'm gonna duck out.
Alrighty.
It was good talking to you guys.
Love you. Wesley, how have you been?
There was a power supply debacle a while back as a present, a prize that I got from a website, but never actually got. And I told them that, basically, you don't have to send me the power supply, but, here's a couple items that I would really love to have instead. And they're like, well, we'll be happy to send you those items plus the power supply. So, a couple days ago, I got 3 boxes from FedEx, and so now I am the proud owner of a 480 gig SSD NVMe drive.
Damn.
The DDR4 3200 speed, 32 gigs of RAM, so 16 gigs a stick. Holy shit.
Shit.
Void 7.1 wireless headset, and the 1000 watt power supply.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of shit.
That is.
I was like, fuck it, I'll just ask for stuff they'll never send. And then they sent it.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Good for you.
Yeah. So because there's a quirk of my gigabyte motherboard, I was only allowed to use 5 out of the 6 SATA slots on my board because I was using a standard SSD drive. And now that I got the NVMe version, I can use all 6, and I'm so happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a storage whore. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to dusting off the degree.
So if you know shit about computers, I hope you fast forward it, because anyways. And if you do, be jealous.
Oh no, Ross and Carrie have been doing now 3 parts with more parts to come on a Revelation seminar presented by Amazing Facts.
Are facts in quotes?
They are 3 episodes in and only 13 parts of the series in, and at least at the point that they've released, they don't know how many more parts there are.
Holy shit.
Well, I know the answer to that. It's usually 27. Yes. Amazing Facts, which they held off about 10 presentations in on letting it be known that they were Seventh-day Adventists, is a self-supporting Adventist ministry. And we talked about self-supporting ministries a few episodes back. So they are not officially a part of the Adventist Church, but they work to support the Adventist Church. And the head of and founder of Amazing Facts is himself an Adventist pastor. And much of their work has been done from within, at least historically, within the Sacramento Central Seventh Adventist Church, which Doug Batchelor was the head pastor of, or maybe still is. I don't know. I don't really care at this point, but I know back when I was in the church, he was still the head pastor there. And so what's been really interesting, and I definitely thought, well worth talking about this, one of the most cult-like things that Adventists do is their evangelism, because it's always the same. It doesn't matter which organization it is, whether it's an official church evangelist, whether it's a local pastor, or it's Amazing Facts, Share Him, or the Quiet Hour. And I'm sure there's more organizations in certain geographical areas, but those are at least the main national and international ones. They all do it the same. And you start off with demonstrating that the Bible is a reliable source of information and truth and prophetic power, that you are terrible, horrible sinners and the end is near, that Jesus is the answer, that he wants you to go to church and worship him on Saturday, that the Adventist Church is the church that will help you do that. And then the last half or more is spent on how to be a good Adventist. The way they all start off, occasionally if it's a local pastor, and sometimes with the official conference pastors, they will actually be holding these Revelation seminars in a Adventist church, but usually they don't. The one that my church growing up did, that we hosted, it was a conference evangelist, and we held the seminars, at least the first half, in the at the Josephine County Fairgrounds in Grants Pass.
Oh.
This Amazing Facts one that Ross and Carrie have been going to is being held at a hotel. Well, the first 10 or so were at the hotel, and then they moved to their church, which is not an Adventist church, but they rent the building from this other church.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty common.
Even that seems deceitful.
Oh, no. It's pretty common for smaller churches in established cities, especially newer churches in established cities, to be renting space from other churches.
Sure, but Seventh Day isn't that small or that young.
No, what I mean is congregation. So if it's a new congregation that just started, until they get big enough and have enough money to get their own building, they usually will be renting from a Sunday church because they aren't using it on Saturday morning.
Very true.
It's also pretty common for Adventists to rent out their space on Sunday because they aren't using it on Sunday. But with these seminars, they often, not always, but often try to hide the fact that they are Seventh-day Adventists until you are really invested. They hide how many meetings there are going to be until you are already invested. And they hide that they are trying to convert you until you're already invested. It is intentionally deceitful. They don't say that that's what it is. The excuse is that they are trying to avoid prejudice. But no, they're trying to deceive you as to who and what they are, so they can get more people coming to learn about prophecy. So you can get all kinds of Christians and non-Christians alike.
It honestly kind of reeks of like Scientology to me. That little deceit gets you in the door and keep you coming back for more and get you invested, and then bam, you don't know what you're into. Yeah. And after you're, and all of the presentations, they all follow the same exact formula. When I was preaching a Share Him evangelistic series in Mexico, it was incredibly scripted, and they had their own custom application to do the translated PowerPoint presentation. So you select the language that you want for the second display, and on the laptop it's showing you English so you can preach, and on the secondary display, the projector, it is showing Spanish. And yeah, everything is completely scripted. They have it down to a science on how to twist and manipulate people. They also get, typically, I would say anywhere from 70 to 90% of the people in attendance are regular church members. Oh, yeah.
So that way and they really push the members of the church to come as often as they can. And you do that to make it look like there are more people here.
And to stack the deck and get some more amens and praise hallelujahs.
And then when you start doing altar calls, to have some people that you can expand it enough that, the good church members will come up, even if nobody else does. And it's just, oh man, it is.
That's dirty.
It's dirty. It's creepy. They are trying to hide who they are, what they're trying to do, and the results of that show. It's very common that everyone who is not already a member who continues attending all the way through will join the church, because there's usually baptisms at the end, and everybody who's not a member will typically be baptized. That can be 30 people. It might be 50 people. If you're overseas, it could be hundreds. 6 months later, most of them are going to be gone. They'll be gone and they'll go back to their old church.
Well, if they weren't so fucking shady about it, maybe more people would stick around.
Yeah. And the way they present the message is also, you create yourself as the authority of truth, or at least holding the authority for truth. Convince people they have a problem. Offer them the solution. At first, just a general solution. There is a solution. A solution is available. And then you start narrowing it down, because people are, especially if you're in a majority Christian country, a lot of people, especially a lot of Christians, aren't going to balk at, you are a horrible sinner and Jesus is the answer.
Yeah, but that's a standard question response, is that, what's the problem? You are. What's the solution? Jesus.
Yeah. And then many of the rest of the presentations as they go along is focused on how are Adventists different than everybody else, And why are they right and all other Christians wrong? So it's, why is Saturday the correct day of worship, not Sunday? Why should you not eat pork and shellfish? Why should you avoid alcohol and tobacco and other drugs? Why is there not a hell? They go through all of those things, and they start off trying to seem like, oh, we're just Christians trying to teach people more about prophecy, to we are trying to tell all other Christians that they are wrong, 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 and you must join us.
Mm-hmm. I still I still don't know how Christians of all these sorts and varieties got to get under that one banner of Christian. And, you know, I mean, we should be able to rip them apart with shit like this. Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, even fucking Mormons are considered Christian now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's...
What the stupid shit is that?
Well, okay, calling Mormons Christians is like calling English Germanic. Yeah, there's a lot of weird bastardization going on, but it does share the same ancestry.
Ish, kind of. I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about Jews and yellow submarines and talking animals that aren't donkeys, and
yeah, oh yeah, they're weird, but
you could say that there's like a few molecules of George Washington's piss in my Coca-Cola bottle here too, and that's true also. But doesn't really mean that it's a glass full of his piss.
Yeah,
to get all nasty. But.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back with news. Atheist Nomads is proudly brought to you by Archway Hosting. Check out their low-price, full-featured hosting solutions at archwayhosting.com. That's ARCHWAY hosting.com.
Hey, we're also brought to you by listeners just like you. Find out how you can become a patron at patreon.com/atheist nomads. That's patreon.com/atheist nomads.
All right, we are going to start off with an update from the Westminster attack that we talked about last week. The attacker has been identified. He was Khalid Massoud, age 52. He had quite the lengthy criminal history, including other incidents involving a knife. One was a slashing, the other was an actual stabbing. He converted to Islam while in prison for one of those attacks. He then lived in Saudi Arabia in 2005 and then again 2008 to 2009. And he was under surveillance by MI5 because he was a dangerous extremist.
Did it ever say what religion he was before that? Just curious.
No.
Probably Christian.
That I didn't see that detail. His name was not Khalid Massoud at birth. He was born as Adrian Russell Elms.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty Christian name.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
one interesting thing is the Islamic State has tried to claim responsibility for the attack. Kind of. There is no evidence backing up that they actually had any involvement, but it is definitely clear that a deeply disturbed person with violent tendencies who was a Muslim decided to act on calls for Muslim violence.
Well, he I don't know, he looks like just a dude. Doesn't look like he looks like a thousand other people. Shit.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I don't remember hearing much about interracial marriage growing up in the Adventist Church, but that could be because I grew up in the liberal and very white northwestern U.S. But an article has been published by the Adventist Record, the official publication of the South Pacific Division of the SDA Church. That is a jurisdiction of the church covering Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and the Pacific Islands. And it warns against interracial marriage, citing three arguments against it: the Bible, Ellen White, and cultural conflict.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, two of those reasons are religious. The third is because people were assholes in the past. They're still assholes now.
Mm-hmm. And
okay, yeah, because people don't ever change.
And actually, the three reasons are basically all one. The biblical calls on Israelites not marrying foreigners was based on cultural conflict, so that they wouldn't take them away from their God and get them worshiping idols.
Yeah.
Ellen White's concerns were right during or after the Civil War that people engaging in interracial relationships would be a distraction, and that they should try to free themselves from distractions so that they can have a simpler, easier life and better help get the world ready for Christ's second return. And the cultural conflict one, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the idea is that people from different races will have different cultures, and a marriage is going to be difficult enough. Don't add in extra conflict with different cultures. So basically, the three are all the same.
Well, goddamn. Oh boy. I mean, yes, this is the record of you said the South Pacific, but I'm guessing in the broader, the main segment of the church, this group doesn't carry too much weight as far as making rules or.
The South Pacific Division is one of the 13 divisions of the General Conference.
Sure, but
so
I'm sure there's only like one or two divisions that actually really get a lot of pull.
Yeah, North America and the South Pacific.
Really?
Yeah, they would be the second most powerful division in the church.
Huh. Okay.
Not based on number of members, but based on like they were one of the first ones. The Adventist missionary work in Australia was some of the first and most powerful. And Ellen White spent a number of years in Australia.
No shit.
When she was exiled by the church leadership after her husband's death and her subsequent
That's actually
depression.
pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, Australia is definitely a big deal in the Adventist church. And, yeah, they hold a decent amount of sway.
Okay. Well, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And it's... Like in the U.S., they kind of skirt the issue by having separate black and white churches and also Spanish churches for Hispanics. And they have different black and white church leadership structures. So black churches get their own conferences and they have their own college.
That's kind of seriously, totally, massively fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. And because minorities tend to be poorer in the U.S., they aren't likely to be going to the actual Adventist high schools. So, they segregation is early in place in the Adventist church. And apparently, interracial marriage is still a big deal.
Man, oh man. Well, moving on from there, oh boy, this is just such a wonderful state. North Carolina House votes to allow guns in schools, but only during church services. Yeah, you heard me right. So,
wow.
Yeah, House Bill 174, which was introduced by Republican, go figure, Rena Turner of Iredell County, was basically able to add an amendment to a bill that basically would allow guns at K through 12 schools when they were used for church services, but only when no school-related activities are being held, and for people, rightly so, with concealed handgun permits, because, yeah, guns in schools are good somehow, because there are so many terrorists out there that want to, shoot up churches that are in schools.
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my God. Yeah, this is even worse than like the fucking bear debate of, getting guns in schools because bears. Oh, wow. What the shit is this?
And okay, yes, it was in South Carolina. There was an attack on a church, but it was a white supremacist attacking a black church.
Yeah, not
That's not what this is about.
If you want to talk about Dylan Roof, not one of these white people have ever called him a terrorist either.
Right. This is
or a Christian.
This is clearly about the paranoia of white Christians.
Yeah. There's a brown person going to come over here and shoot up our place. There's a black person that's going to come up here and sleep with all our white women. That's what this is. It's fucking racist paranoia.
Wow.
So yeah, now, hooray! We got us here a white Christian Republican woman that's allowing guns in schools, essentially. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So yeah, this is, if you want to dive in a little bit deeper, this is kind of tied to a church that has their own security team. Yeah. And they want to be able to protect their parishioners should there be an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just slightly upset by all this.
And for good reason.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So depressing story too. Well, another depressing story. And even staying in North Carolina, isn't this wonderful? We got two little stories here. First one talking about the actual cost of HB2, the restroom bill in North Carolina. So the first part of it, and this is from the newsandobserver.com, the editorial board, which is nice to see, says HB2 is a $3.7 billion boondoggle.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So basically, already in the last year to things that are coming up, $3.7 billion it's cost their state. Lost business. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get way worse. As I recall, we just had the first anniversary of HB2 being a law. And man, their state is kind of tanking. I mean, that's shitty. I mean, $3 billion. About $4 billion. I mean, even California would shudder if they had that taken out of their budget.
Yeah, that's not a small amount of money.
Yeah, and Republicans are still pretty much standing behind it, and I don't understand it. I mean, even the Republicans over in Kansas are finally starting to get pissed at Brownback's, his trickle down bullshit of cutting all the tax breaks for the rich. And yeah, North Carolina is just let's fuck ourselves even more. Well, they lost the PayPal facility, which supposedly would have been $2.6 billion to the state's economy over a few years. The NCAA, holy shit, that's a big one. Mm-hmm. The NCAA, which is college basketball, I think, is they book their shit out for years in advance, and they have basically set a deadline, which is probably going to be just passed. If you listen to this as of the time of recording, it's going to noon on Thursday. If this bill is not repealed, the NCAA is saying fuck you to North Carolina until at least 2023. So no college basketball tournaments there from 2018 to 2022.
Wow.
So, yeah, if you guys really like basketball and you're in North Carolina, you're proper fucked. Sorry.
Well, to be fair, North Carolina is considered a failed democracy, And per the U.S. Constitution, the federal government has the duty and obligation to send in troops and restore a proper democracy to the state.
Oh, that would be funny. And, a little dangerous.
Actually, I don't know if
for the people of North Carolina.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of fucking stupid, what do you want to call them? They're militia motherfuckers that are, I got my guns, I'm going to keep the government out. And I'm talking redneck for some reason.
For the federal government to send in troops, if that is actually what would be required, I suspect it would. They would only need to send them a few miles, really. It's only about, I think, 60 miles from Fort Bragg to the Capitol.
Shit, that'd be like a training exercise.
Yeah.
But yeah, seriously. Oh goodness, what the fuck? Makes me sad.
Yeah. All right. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, let's just take another break. We love hearing from our listeners. You can email us at contact@atheistnomads.com, tweet us @atheistnomads, send us a message on our Facebook page at facebook.com/atheistnomads, or better yet, call us and leave us a message at 541-203-0666. We might even play it on the show. You can also help us out by leaving us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or your podcast directory of choice. When a family values Republican politician gets caught in a scandal, you know where it's going. However, the now former Oklahoma State Senator Ralph Shorty takes the cake. The 35-year-old married father of three has been charged with 3 felonies: engaging in prostitution within 1,000 feet of a church, and transporting a minor for prostitution. And this was after he got caught with a bottle of lotion, a box of condoms, and a teenage boy in a Super 8 motel room that reeked of marijuana.
Ooh.
The text messages between the two spelled out that the, quote, baby boy would be getting money from his, quote, daddy for spring break, that the kid needed to bring his pipe so they could smoke, and some discussion about the sex they would be having. If convicted, he will still be eligible for a state pension since he served long enough in the Senate, and even though felony convictions can cause people to lose that, it only applies to bribery, corruption, or perjury.
Right. Ah, goodness. Why didn't he just bring an apple? He wouldn't have needed the pipe. Oh, boy. Yeah, this guy is just filthy all the way around. I mean, goodness. He did quit his job so he could focus on this fight. But whatever. I mean, I didn't know there was a third charge, the first one that you read off of engaging in prostitution, but I knew about the second too.
Yeah. Which
this is
okay. Let's start with stick with how icky he is.
I am a kink supporter. I am sex positive, and this guy is just gross all the way around. The whole daddy thing, and just.
If he were openly gay and the boy was 18,
or probably even fucking 16 for that state.
Let's stick with 18. It would all be fine.
Yeah.
But he's not openly gay.
No.
He is
openly married to a wife, kids. Yeah.
And is a self-hating closet case who actively tries to legislate
against his own self-interest.
Well, it's not that. Legislate against his own desires to help protect him from it. And that didn't stop him from soliciting sex for money with a teenage boy. Oh, god damn. And okay, so we've covered he's a terrible, horrible sleazeball. The problem, and the only problem with the fact that it was gay sex is that he's a fucking family values Republican. Oh.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, any guy that legislates against homosexuals, any LGBT cause, and then, you know, snorts coke off a hooker's ass. You know, I just.
And it's hilarious that when a Democrat gets caught in a sex scandal, it's always with a woman. And if it's a Republican, it's always with a man.
Yeah, but and when a Democrat gets caught, they always quit too. They always, you know, leave in shame and never come back. You never hear of them again, except for Anthony Weiner.
He was, yeah.
Other than him, yeah, they all pretty much just leave in shame, and Republicans are just like, we'll do better, and or just say fuck you and just stay in office.
You know, they go to church and they repent, and then they're right back at it.
Sure, get right with God. Like, okay.
Snorting more coke and smoking more pot with teenage boys.
And smoking more teenage boys' poles. Yeah.
Okay,
Goodness.
So now I want to focus on the charges. Okay, engaging in prostitution. That is, for one, I think a bullshit charge in the first place.
Me and MJ definitely feel prostitution in general should just plain be legal and get some fucking, you know, prostitute unions going and shit. That'd be kind of cool.
Sex work is work.
That's right.
Yeah,
sex work is work.
Well, and I would go more along just the lines of sexual activity between consenting adults should not be legislated, regardless of whether there is an exchange of money.
If you sleep with somebody as ugly as this Ralph Shorty fuck, then you should definitely be earning some money.
Okay, so that first one, yeah, that should be that's bullshit, unless you are a family values Republican, in which case, fuck you, you deserve it, you hypocritical piece of shit.
Yeah. The second one's funny, though, because only a fucking family values Republican would even think to put that on the books.
Yeah.
You know, sex within 1,000 feet of a church.
Well, not even
fuck.
Not even sex within 1,000 feet of a church, but engaging in prostitution, which that could either mean that the motel was within 1,000 feet of the church. He picked up the kid within 1,000 feet of a church, or, well, heck, this is suburban Oklahoma.
There's a church everywhere.
It'd probably be hard to get more than 1,000 feet from a church. But why should that matter?
Yeah, no, shouldn't.
I know there's often laws that, and it is almost always churches and schools that together, that if you commit certain, it's all the sin type crimes, the vices. If you commit one of those and it's within 1,000 feet of a church or a school, you know, there might be children around. Bullshit. Okay, within 1,000 feet of a school, okay, I get that. 1,000 feet of a church, unless it's on Sunday morning, there's not going to be any kids there. And even if there are, they're not likely to know what's going on.
Why don't you just make it 1,000 feet of a bank?
Yeah. Oh, it's... yeah. Now, the transporting a minor for prostitution, that one I think is... Okay, that's a law that is good. It seems odd in this case because I'm guessing that one's probably for child trafficking, which this wasn't.
Yeah.
Where's the statutory rape charge?
Well, it's... I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Maybe he was able to talk to, you know, had some friends on the, you know, in the DA or something. Oh shit, in the DA, and you know they put these bullshit charges against him, and not like the good solid ones that would actually do some damage.
I could easily imagine him getting out of this one, even though he was caught in the act.
That's a good thought. I hadn't even thought about that. Shit,
those charges are just weird.
Yeah, shit. He got off easy. I got a feeling.
Yeah, Travis, please keep us in the loop on how this one progresses.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the tip. Well, moving across the pond, Boris Johnson tells MPs not to call Donald Trump a fascist. And I'm still kind of talking Southern redneck, even though it's, British. So, yeah, Boris Johnson, you might remember him as one of the weird fucktards from the Brexit, quite a few months back.
Right. Yeah. The former mayor of London, not to be confused with the Lord Mayor of London, and current foreign secretary.
Yep. Yeah. So you might also remember him from Brexit, actually basically calling people, Nazis and other shit during, Brexit. So, yeah. Good on him for, not learning anything, really. So, yeah, foreign secretary, he actually got into trouble about it. And let's see, during the referendum campaign, he basically said that the EU was attempting to dominate Europe just as Hitler and Napoleon had. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
The French president, Francois Hollande. But anyways, in January, he compared the French president to a World War II guard who wanted to administer punishment beatings. Yeah, that sounds a little sexual, but whatever. I'll leave that. Yeah.
Huh.
So,
yeah, he doesn't have any problem with comparing people to Nazis.
Yeah,
as long as it's not his buddy.
I don't even know if is he a buddy? I mean, they're all kind of right-wing weirdos.
Somebody he likes, at least.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Yeah, there's not much to this story. I just thought it was really funny. Gave me a chuckle. Do as I say, not as I do.
All right. Well, on Thursday, March 23rd, Pat Robertson had the following to say.
I have a prediction to make. You can hold me to it. If I'm wrong, you can say you missed it. The health care bill is going to pass, is getting modified. The Freedom Caucus is going to get the modifications they're asking for. But my prediction is it's going to pass. They're going to give Trump a victory. It's going to go through the Senate. And we are all going to rejoice that we're paying less on health care. Now, that's my prediction. And wait till tomorrow. You can prove me wrong if I'm wrong.
You heard it here.
You heard it here.
And the next day, the bill was pulled.
Right. So, yeah. Oh, goodness. You poor old man. The we that's going to be paying less for healthcare, he's just talking about him and his rich friends. Not talking about you and me and your friends.
But he's like 1 billion years old. He doesn't pay for healthcare. He's got, he does a little bit, but he'd be on,
he's also
on Medicare.
Got billions. Well, he's got literal millions and millions.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about what he pays for his own healthcare. He just doesn't want to pay taxes for other people to get healthcare.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, goodness, you selfish son of a bitch.
Now, I cut out a few bits, but he continued on about how, the Lord showed him that Trump was going to win, and he knows the Lord will give Trump victory on this bill.
Mm.
And nope, he was wrong.
Well, he sure does love thumping the table. I just heard that like 5-6 times. Don't. Yeah, he's just kind of reminding himself that he's still alive. You're still alive, Pat. Don't worry, you're still alive. Goodness.
All right.
Pat.
Let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we've got, weird people being weird.
If you like the show, consider giving us some financial support. To make it really easy with one-time donations or to support us on a per episode, monthly, or even annual basis using PayPal or Patreon. Find out more at atheistnomads.com. Use the links on the right side of the page. $1 an episode is all we ask. Please, think of the kittens.
The right-wing preacher Lance Wallanow announced that he and his prayer warriors are definitely having a positive effect and saving Trump from leaks and witchcraft.
Huh.
So I'm going to go out on a limb. First of all, like spoilers, I don't think the leaks part is working.
Definitely not.
The witchcraft, maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard about any, witches saying that, our spells are having no effect, just like usual. I haven't heard that.
They were going to get him to drop out of the race during the second debate, but that didn't work.
Yeah.
And since then, as far as I know, the witches have been pretty quiet. But
yeah, so their spells are like just as effective as usual.
Right. Yeah.
Really.
And the leaks, the White House is like a strainer right now.
Yeah, that's like a spaghetti strainer. Yeah. This is great. So, anyways, yeah.
Man, if the Netherlands had that many leaks, they would lose half of their land to flooding.
Oh no!
If I think I'm out of. Damn. Yeah.
All right. In a video posted to his Facebook page last night, actually a few nights ago now, Wallenow misrepresented the facts of the matter, of course, suggesting that it was no coincidence that this information was revealed in the wake of their praying efforts, that Devin Nunes and some communications involving members of Trump's transition team had been incidentally collected during the U.S. government surveillance of foreign targets. So, of course, Nunes' statement did not corroborate Trump's claims. And basically, this is just one large fucking mess. And,
and he's got one of those giant notepads on an easel.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes it clearer for everybody. Just, he's taking a cue from, the Blaze, because, that really helps. Giant whiteboards.
Although he's not going with the whiteboard. He's got it all on paper, so that way he can remember it.
Yeah, but a giant white surface, you got to write it out.
Uh-huh.
When you got a conspiracy theory about praying, then, oh my goodness, yeah, this guy's just weird. But, it's really sad because he goes on saying that Trump has had his legitimacy as the president constantly questioned and harassed by the principalities and powers that are operating through the media and what we call the deep state, which he said are spreading fake news in order to delegitimize the president. I'm like, motherfucker, the media doesn't have to do that at all. I mean, Trump's doing it just fine on his own.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Wow.
Spreading fake news. Wow. So, yeah. If this sounds like circles and loops in your mind, like what the fuck's going on, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. So don't feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Dear listener, just know that Wallenow is still fucking weird. But at least he's not as old as Pat, so we get to, deal with this for another 30 years or so.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to a different kind of crazy. And I'm going to start this one with the headline.
Oh, boy.
Scientists find blood from vegans is 8 times more protective against cancer.
Wow. That sounds amazing. Tell me more.
Now, no, this article isn't advocating drinking the blood wine harvested from the slaughter of vegans. It's claiming that a vegan's blood protects the vegan from cancer.
Wow. Do we have good, solid evidence for this?
Well, before we even get to that, that statement alone is insane.
Yeah, because I was kind of hoping for like a Blade the Movie style, coffin where they just like fucking drain all the blood out of you. And
blood doesn't protect you from cancer. Your immune cells fight cancer. They can prevent cancer from developing by killing bad cells. But your immune cells, that's not blood.
I don't know, man.
Oh.
All I'm seeing is good reasons to kill vegans and spread their blood on my face.
And just using the word cancer. Oh, so painful. Anyway.
There's not just one kind?
They cite quite a few studies in their article, and they link to their abstracts on PubMed. In each case, you can follow the link from PubMed to the actual article, which is behind a paywall.
Right. Okay.
And nowhere did I find vegan in any of the abstracts, and the effects that they found don't match up with the claims made by this article on Rise of the Vegan. Not surprising, it is called Rise of the Vegan.
Yeah.
For prostate cancer, they put the experimental group on a low-fat, high-fiber diet and found that it lowered their PSAs more than was seen in the control group that was undergoing conventional treatment. It didn't shrink the tumors, it didn't cure the cancer, but the PSA is virtually useless anyway, and prostate cancer treatment is generally pointless regardless. There are a few exceptions, rare cases where prostate cancer actually is growing aggressively enough and rapidly enough that it is actually putting your life at risk. But most men die with prostate cancer, not of it. And the PSA, yeah, it's useless. It's not a useful diagnostic tool. And even as a screening test, it has definitely been called into question. So evaluating PSA levels to determine the effectiveness of a low-fat, high-fiber diet, that is complete and utter bullshit. So not only does the study not claim what this article is saying, the study itself is pointless. The second is a breast cancer study that, according to the article, was looking at breast cancer patients. But no, it was just looking at women who are at high risk for breast cancer. High risk means they don't currently have it. They just have a number of signs indicating that they probably will.
They're in a group that are more likely to get it.
Yeah, they did not have cancer, as the article claims. No.
Okay.
But they did find that after 2 weeks on, again, a low-fat, high-fiber diet combined with exercise, there was a decrease in several hormonal and functional indicators of their cancer risk.
God, 2 weeks. Yeah, it's forever.
2 weeks is, I don't believe it. There is a reason why reproducing studies is important and why one study doesn't actually tell you anything. Both of these studies are very, very limited. The prostate cancer one actually doesn't look at prostate cancer. It looks at the PSA. And the breast cancer one is 2 fucking weeks long and didn't follow the patients long enough to find out if it actually lowered their risk of breast cancer. Just some of the indicators of their risk level.
I'm sure that, Rise of the Vegan doesn't have any bias in this, so it's fine. Don't worry. Don't look behind the curtain.
Well, for one, with their bias,
No, there is no bias.
Their lack of bias, they are interpreting low-fat, high-fiber to mean vegan. Those diets would not be your typical American diet, but we all know that the typical American, or at least stereotypical American diet is not good for you.
No, definitely not.
But changing your diet isn't likely to affect you within a couple of weeks.
No, hell no.
At least the prostate cancer one, they were looking at, I think, a year. Ah, man.
Well, you can cherry pick anything you want if you look hard enough.
All right, so those studies, pretty bullshit. Small sample sizes, short study durations, and very, very limited effects being measured that are not really all that good. Well, this next one is a new meta-analysis looking at 15 articles describing 17 separate studies involving 4.1 million women.
Sounds better so far.
So quite robust. They found that for-profit hospitals were 1.4 times more likely than public or private nonprofit hospitals to perform C-sections.
Wow.
And this held true regardless of the country or any risk factors. And clearly, this is because hospitals can charge more for the more invasive and more dangerous delivery method.
Huh. So hospitals that like money, want money, find ways to get it.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm hearing.
They put the bottom line above the patient's health.
Huh. Well, they put the C-section line above everybody else's health.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting. So, sounds like what you're saying is companies want to earn money.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a novel concept. Even in a hospital, yeah, companies like money. And that I'm not down on you at all. I'm having fun with my dry sarcasm that, companies like to earn money and they have stockholders and all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody knows that for-profit hospitals are always more expensive. And yeah, no shit, they're trying to turn a profit.
This is wow. I mean, that's no small number either.
No. 1.4 times more likely.
Well, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty well down on doulas and like home births and all that shit, but find yourself a not-for-profit hospital and go there.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, especially when you consider the fact that the fatality rate for C-sections is, I think, almost double that of a standard vaginal delivery.
No shit. God damn.
It's ridiculous. Because
these are all things I haven't looked up into because I'm, never having kids.
Yeah. Well, not only is the risk of being at the end of a pregnancy, but there is the added risk of surgery.
Yeah.
And invasive major surgery is always dangerous. If you can avoid opening up the body cavity, you should. Period.
Yeah, seriously. I've heard that, well, here it is, me pulling shit out of my ass here, but I've heard that basically any time that you get put under anesthesia, your chances of, dying on that table go up quite a bit.
Yeah. That was especially true before the mass rash of malpractice lawsuits 15 years ago.
Oh.
And as a result of all of the anesthesiologists getting sued, because one report I saw on it, it was something like, I'm not going to pull out the number, but it was insane, absolutely insane. After they kept getting sued, anesthesiologists got together, they looked at their practices and figured out, oh, wait, we could do this better. And they changed their practices, and the rate of people dying has dropped down to like a tenth of what it was before.
No shit. Well, no small number there either. Shit.
Yeah. Ridiculous. But before that, it was just considered to be just how it goes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. So that's wrapping it up here, huh?
Yeah. We have feedback.
Oh boy.
From Jonathan.
Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Ariola. So, robots are going to come eat you. I heard that segment and I'm not sure if you've heard about DRM. Essentially, it's a part of a consortium of different techies that look at trying to figure out how to deal with security codes and different controls that way. And it's also kind of backed by the feds, more or less. The part's complicated, but essentially one of the things they came out with relatively recently in the past, essentially a DRM file makes it so that you can't copy copyrighted material. There are ways to get around it. But the thing is, the DRM file isn't something that you're allowed to look at. It's kind of one of those secret little shenanigans inside of your computer, and it's basically put on most of the platforms and was pushed through by Netflix and part of Google and through Chrome, as well as recently through Firefox, because they were kind of pushed to do that. If you want to watch Netflix on a Firefox or Mozilla browser, then you can't, unless they put the DRM code inside of it. Essentially what that does is it makes it so that it's a weakness that's hackable. And so with the whole CIA thing popping up where they're trying to use different kinds of methods to do surveillance, essentially it's that back door that the feds can then use to get into your computer. Now, hearing about robots killing everyone, I'm thinking to myself, it would be interesting to see some little artificial intelligence project that figures out how to tap into the DRM. That's going to be a problem for everybody because that would be the Skynet. So yeah, robots going to eat you in. Anyway, thank you for the show. Bye.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember when DRM was a big hot topic issue like 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. Digital rights management. Basically copy protection. And yeah, it's really shitty. Which I believe that's why you were such a big supporter of OGG for so long.
Actually, that one didn't have to do with DRM specifically. It was just the fact that OGG is open source.
And yeah.
MP3 was proprietary. The patent has expired. But DRM, it's why I couldn't watch Netflix on my computer for a long time. Because I use Linux.
Or why you can't listen to your iTunes songs on Android.
Right. It's restricting your access to stuff that you pay for. It does also help point out the misconception that when you buy something, you are buying a thing, when in most cases, you're buying a license.
You don't own that song.
You own a license to have a copy of it. And with movies, when you buy a DVD, you don't own the movie, you own a license to a copy of it.
To show it privately, not even to large audiences.
Yeah. And DRM is a way, it's a way of enforcing that. Google Chrome, it was about a year ago when Netflix switched from using Silverlight to HTML5.
Microsoft Silverlight was shit, though.
Yeah, it was. But they pushed really hard to get HTML5 to accept into the standard DRM. And HTML5 being an open source standard, open standards tend to not like proprietary stuff or restriction. So the group that oversees the standard really resisted, but eventually Netflix did get it approved.
Well, hooray-ish. But got a friend of the show coming out here. Ralph really helped me out in my time of need, and he's in the U.S. now. And we're gonna go out drinking. God, we're gonna get my local crew, gonna get the Tacoma crew out, and hit a couple breweries and get really fucked up on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to this. So.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, fucking A. I hope he doesn't snore. Boy, yeah, he'll probably be crashing at our place here for a night. So, cool. Yeah, so, hey, see you soon, Ralph.
And for all the rest of you, just remember, not all those who wander are lost. Thank you for listening to another episode of Atheist Nomads. You can find show notes and contact information at atheistnomads.com. Follow us on Twitter at Atheist Nomads, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/atheistnomads. Please subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or your podcatcher of choice, and while you're there, feel free to leave us a review. Theme music is courtesy of Sturdy Fred. Until next time, this has been the Atheist Nomads.